Hey guys, welcome back to another one of Mike's road trips up to the Sequoia National Forest. This time we're going to be focusing on Johnsondale, the road north of Johnsondale, which is called Lloyd Meadow Road. And the first campsite that I stayed at last year is actually called Freeman Creek Campsite, and that's just north of Needles Peak. There was a couple other campsites I stayed at. There was one campsite east of Dome Rock, which was called Peppermint Creek Campground number 5, and then there was also, this time we were actually forced to stay at campsite number 2, which is that's the official name for it anyways, on Floyd Meadow Road. So we got into the 5 north heading towards Bakersfield. We went over the Grapevine and we got into Route 99 headed into Bakersfield. And then we were actually heading towards, on 99, we wanted to go west on 58, which is also east 178. So east 178 into Lake Isabella. And we got on that freeway and drove through East Bakersfield. Beautiful landscape, even in the rain. We can see the mountains coming up. We drove through a huge orange grove. And it's early spring, so you can see a lot of green. Now here's the actual entrance to the pass, which is quite intimidating, to be honest with you, because you go from flatlands to very rocky kind of terrain with a steep cliff on your left there into the Kern River. So we drove through the pass heading north. This is still 178. Okay, now we drove, we're on 178, and we actually got onto, I don't remember the exact name of these roads, but this is Kernville area. So this is like a little area in Kernville that is right before you actually enter the Sequoia National Forest area. Here you can see the Sequoia National Forest sign. And you're still heading into the mountains. There's still quite a long ways to go. And this is called Kernville right here. This is a small little tiny town called Kernville. We're north of Kernville, heading north. Okay, now this is the Johnsondale Bridge, so we're getting close to Johnsondale. And right around the corner, okay, so Johnsondale's on the left. I actually didn't film Johnsondale. We're north of Johnsondale. We made a right onto Floyd Meadow Road, which is also known as 22S82. Here's campsite number 2. We drove past that because I was trying to head farther north to where I normally camp. And here's campsite number 3, and I'll mention that again. So we passed campsite number 2 and campsite number 3, and there's a road that takes you to the Western Continental Divide. It's about a 4-mile road, and there's a lot of really good camping spots. Unfortunately, this road was closed. We're looking at early March. This was like March 10th, I think. So a lot of the roads were still closed, and as you can see, there's definitely some early spring weather. Now we tried heading north, and Floyd Meadow Road is closed, and this road is also called California Forest Route 22S82. Okay, so I call it Floyd Meadow Road. That's the actual name of it, but you won't see that on most maps. On most maps, you'll see it called 22S82. Okay, so we're heading back down, and we went into campsite number 3 to check that out. Okay, and this was the first campsite that came up after we had to make our turnaround north of here. So it was very steep terrain. Obviously, it was raining, so wet, kind of slippery, muddy, sandy dirt. And the van was having a hard time with it. Started going sideways a little bit there. Got worried that I might get stuck, so I wanted to be real careful. You're deep into the mountains now. Getting stuck in the rain like this would not be fun. Alright, so I obviously turned around and stepped on the gas and made sure to go real fast, even over those ruts. Just power through them. Okay, so I'm back on Floyd Meadow Road, heading south. and I actually passed campsite number 2, kind of got lost track of exactly where everything was heading down, and I didn't want to go all the way down to Johnsondale, so I turned back around, heading back north. Got a little lost there, and hit some puddles. As you can see, it's been raining quite hard for several days. Okay, so here's the bridge. I think this is called Bone Creek. This is a bridge that goes over Bone Creek, and campsite number 2 is right here on the right. So I pulled into campsite number 2. And you can see the campsite. This is campsite number 2, and directly in front of us is Bone Creek. And it runs all along the right side of the campsite number 2, and the road is on the left side of the campsite. And so I was looking for a good spot, and I found a spot that looks relatively level. If I park the vehicle correctly, I can actually park it so that the vehicle is relatively level, which is kind of nice. There's still a lot of rain, and obviously it's quite soggy and muddy. So we pulled in and we found a good camping spot, despite some of the road closures. And this, you can see, this is exactly where I parked. I'm actually going to zoom in here. So you can see that whatever that was captured on Google Earth, that white thing right there, that's exactly where I was able to camp. And there's Bone Creek right there. And the 2 days of torrential rain finally stopped, and I tried to build a fire, but everything was so soaking wet, I had to improvise and use a blowtorch. And so you can see this is the 3rd or 4th day. Things finally started to dry out. This was the last day I stayed on this particular camping trip. I did come back to this exact same campsite, and I stayed in this exact same spot. So I'm going to have another video coming up with some more scenery of the campsite itself. It's probably just going to be a quick short video showing some parts of the stream and stuff like that. It was really peaceful. 70 degrees, 75, 80 degrees, and just absolutely beautiful scenery. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.